All right. Well, thank you for those kind words. I'm very grateful to be here. And I think that most of you probably drove here tonight, right? Well, so did I. And I think it's a very interesting place to start tonight's presentation, because I think that leadership is a lot like driving a car. I mean, there you are, you're in your driver's seat, and you have a basic idea of where you want to go. But really, whether you enjoy the ride or whether you get to where you want to, very quickly, as quickly as you want, it's really determined on how you drive your vehicle and the condition of your vehicle, right? So I've got this 17-year-old son. His name's Nick, and bless his heart, just last week he turned 17 and he gets his P's, and he's so excited, he's so proud, and I'm so nervous. And he decides, I've got my P's, and comes home and he wants to go out, with his mates down to Macca's. And it's great. So I'm up on the road and I'm waving him off like this, watching the car go down with intrepidation and excitement all rolled up inside me at once. And what do I see? Blue smoke coming out from behind the car. He's left the handbrake on. So I go, oh dear me, quickly get the mobile phone. He's not supposed to answer it, right? But he did, thank God. And he lets it go. And it's just so much easier when you drive a car without the handbrake. And duh. But look, who here has done the same thing? Be honest with yourselves. Who here has left the started off with the car? Yes, a few of you have had the handbrake on, and isn't it amazing how unaware we are? We sit in the car and we and it is that first moment, it's a bit harder than it usually is, but not a problem. Maybe it's just a little stone that's in the road or something like that. Anyway, so off you go. And yes, if you're like me, you're not aware until you smell the brakes, and you, oh my goodness, and you put it off, and then suddenly it becomes so much easier to drive your car. Well, here's something that might shock you. All right? I'm going to suggest that many of us leaders are actually driving with our handbrakes on, and we're not even aware of it. So what do I mean by that? Well, let me share a story about Alex. Now, Alex, successful, retired professional, knew what he was doing when he was working as a professional, had the game sewn up, okay? And then he retires, right? And he's worked really hard throughout his career to build up this nest egg, and he's, very determined to make sure that he grows this nest egg and makes the most of it. Because it's important to him. He wants a really good quality of life with his wife, and he'd like to leave something for the kids. God, might even be able to help them buy a house in Sydney. Can you imagine that? So there he is. Guess when he retired? September 2008, just before the GFC hits. And so what does he do? He's sitting there with his bucket of money, and he's seeing property prices going down. He's seeing the stock market fall off the cliff, right? He's seeing friends lose, large parts of their share portfolios. And one thing he knows, he doesn't want that to happen to him. So, it's now well over 2 years, and Alex still has this bucket of money in the bank. And the one thing he didn't want was for his money to be frittered away in management fees and taxes and be earning this pitiful amount of interest. So, it's about then that I meet Alex, and he does some training with us, and he tells me, I'm really frustrated because I know I want to be actively involved in growing my nest egg and getting this lifestyle and providing for my family, and yet I just can't seem to make it happen. Something's getting in the road. And he didn't know what it was. And so a lot of the training that we do with people like Alex is to give them a set of questions that they can use to coach themselves, to identify exactly what is getting in the road. That proverbial handbrake, if you will. And so for Alex, what it was is there were moments when, he's a capable guy, he could see when there was time to be able to get back into the market, that, prices were low. Yet, the moment of truth for Alex was when he would pick up the phone to talk to the stockbroker. Now, you're probably thinking, he's fearing failure. That's what was getting in the road. He didn't want to lose it all. No, that's not what it was for Alex. For Alex, as he picked up the phone, he felt ignorant. He didn't know what all the stuff was about, shares, P ratios, buybacks, rights issues, and all this jargon, and he just felt ignorant. And for all his career, he felt anything but ignorant. He was the competent guy to go to get, answers from. But in this area of shares or property and investments, this discomfort, he resisted feeling ignorant, dumb even, and reacted by doing what he knows how to do, which is, keep the money in the bank. At least I know it's safe there. Only problem is, fast forward to 2011, there he is. Well, what's happened to property prices since then? Since the GFC, they've gone up in Sydney on average 18%. What's happened to the stock market? From the lows of the GFC, they've gone up by over 80%. That's a tad more than the interest rate he's currently receiving. Okay, so part of Alex is really starting to kick himself for, why didn't I take advantage of this once in a lifetime investment opportunity? I mean, there he was, cashed up to take advantage of this incredibly bargain basement prices. He could see it, but he didn't take advantage of it. What was getting in the road? It was this discomfort of feeling ignorant. He resisted it and reacted. So with that insight, what he did is, now that he knew what was getting in the road, what he decided to do was, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be willing to feel ignorant. Now, of course, he wasn't actually ignorant. Like I said, he was a very capable guy. But it's just the feeling of ignorance that he had to be willing to feel. And when he did that, he saw the whole situation that he'd been through so much more objectively. And what he decided to do was, okay, it's obvious now, I need to do some training in investing in stocks, in equities, and in property. So off he went, did some training in property and shares. And in a real sort of objective, factual sense, his knowledge around investing in shares and property lifted. So he no longer felt as ignorant. And then came another opportunity for him to actually bite the bullet and invest in some shares. And so there he is with the phone again, about to pick it up for the stockbroker, and again that feeling of ignorance. This time it was around, I don't know what the share price will be tomorrow, or the week after, or the month after that. Still that ignorance. But with this insight that he now had, he was willing to feel it. And so he placed his order. When do you think he placed his order? Any guesses of the dates? The 12th of March. Right? The day after the Japanese tsunami.
Oh my God.
Well, you might be shaking your head and say, what a terrible disaster. But what was the effect on the stock market? BHP went down to like $43. What's it trading at now? $44.50. In the space of a few weeks, he's made $1.50. What a great return. Why? Because he was willing to feel ignorant. That was the thing that he, up until that time, he just didn't know was holding him back. He couldn't see that. He could experience it, but he wasn't aware of it. And as a result, that was his handbrake. It was holding him back. Now, as a result of this, he's able to, back himself. He was always capable of making these type of investment decisions. He could spot the time to get into the market. Anyone could. I mean, the price is way down that day. And he had all the money to do it with. And so that's what he's doing. He's now actively involved in growing his wealth. So that is the story of Alex and what was getting in the road of Alex. What is your story? What is the area in your life that's not progressing the way, as fast or quickly, as easily as you'd like, and that you're not quite sure what's getting in the road of you getting what you really want? So my invitation to you is just to spend 1 minute each talking to the person beside you, talking about that area that you want to see be even better, and it's not quite clear for you what it is that's getting in the road. So just 1 minute each, talking about that, and then I'm going to offer you an opportunity to questions and answers, open the floor, and I'll give someone the opportunity to identify what it is that's holding you back. Would that be of interest to you? Yeah? I hope so. 1 minute each, go ahead and talk. Okay, so fast forward. So I coach someone in terms of what's getting in the road, and then I'll say, well, if I could just bring my presentation to a close now. It's very easy for us to work very hard, trying to get to where we want to get to, and not be aware of what's actually getting in the road, what's making it harder than it really needs to be for us. Work, and not know what that proverbial handbrake is. And yet, if you just know a few good questions to ask yourself, like, what am I resisting right now? A question like that can make all the difference. It can transform the way you lead and live your work life and your whole organisation. It can transform your relationships and how easy or difficult it is for you to get the cooperation of others to support you in achieving the success and the things that you really want. If you want, it can make you millions of dollars and give you the lifestyle that you've always wanted. So, or you can keep resisting, reacting, and re-experience like Alex was. He was resisting feeling ignorant and then felt really dumb and ignorant for missing out on the opportunities. So, in the next few months, I'm going to be holding some seminars, which I call Wealth Whispering, and where I'll be teaching some of these insights and practical techniques. So if you're interested in participating in those seminars, what I'd invite you to do is leave your business cards out on the front desk here, or if you don't have your business card, what I'd like you to do is write your details, and we'll be in contact to give you the opportunity to learn some of these insights and learn the art of wealth whispering. So I hope you got value from this presentation, and I wish you well.